I made an icon every day of December 2024, and furthermore, I made an icon every day of the entire year. DaaDuuDay, making an icon every day of 2024, and a YouTube short for each and every one of them. I've reached the end, and it's time to summarize all of December's icons. If you're just here to see the art, you can leave after the slideshow, but leave a comment with your favorite icon. I'll be speaking about the icons, the month, and the year as a whole afterward if you'd like to stick around. Slideshow time, bada bing. Now it's time for individual icon thoughts. In the YouTube short for Gingerbread House, I showed off photos of my past gingerbread houses, and while I did make one this year, it's at my grandma's house and I never got a photo of it, so I am unfortunately unable to share it with you guys in this video. DaaDuuDay stands as a reminder of all the Fandom Friday icons I never got to make. I knew early on that I wanted to draw DaaDuuDay at some point, and he ended up being one of the final ones. And there are so many more icons I wanted to make, but I never got to. When I started Fandom Friday, I thought that I surely wouldn't be able to keep it going very long. I thought I'd crack and start doing art based on media basically every day, but that didn't happen. I made fandom-related artwork only on Fridays, holidays, and when they were suggested for Sunday prompts. Let's have a moment of silence for all of the icons that were never created. 3-Minute Grapes is my least favorite icon from this month. It's just super basic, and I remember struggling with the stem and the colors. Pomegranate Dress didn't turn out as great as I wanted it to. It could have been more pomegranate-y. It's pretty simple, but the girl looks nice. Virus ended up looking way better than I expected it to. I love it. Fairy is interesting because it's the only icon this year that I messed around with brushes on. I like how it turned out, but there's still a lot for me to learn when it comes to the brush tools. DaaDuuDay icons are icons I didn't like at first, but now I do. And Seal 016 is partially a DaaDuuDay icon. I didn't dislike it when I made it, but I also wasn't a fan, but it's grown a lot on me. Q is fine, but I messed up the way his bottom finger wraps around the Sprite Cranberry, and it drives me crazy every time I see it. On March 28th, I drew lips. On August 3rd, I drew a nose, and in December, I finished with eyes. So of course... Yep. I'm really sad that I dropped the ball on Santa Claus. It's a fine icon, but it doesn't feel great to me. It definitely could have been better for sure, but also I gotta cut myself some slack because it was literally Christmas Eve and I was very busy. I love wrapped gifts. It kind of bothers me that the wrapping paper goes around the boxes in an unrealistic way, but the concept is great, and it was also fun to hear my family try to guess what character icons each of the presents represented. There was one very specific Fandom Friday icon that I wanted to do that I had to skip, and maybe someday you'll find out what that is, but I had to do DaaDuuDay, I had to do a C-Look icon, I had to do a Christmas Fandom Friday, and I had to do a Drawn to Life one. I'm sad that I wasn't able to do that one icon, but if it was between that icon and Wilfer, I think Wilfer was the more significant choice. Both Ice Cream Alien and Floating Bowl Island were scrapped icons from way back on January 11th. There's some scrap sketches I didn't show in my YouTube short for Ice Cream Alien, so here's those. Usually if a sketch wasn't going my way, I'd just get rid of it, but those two ideas were ones I thought were worth revisiting. And this Marching Goblin icon is the only one that I didn't end up coming back to. This is from March 2nd. Instead of Marching Guy, we almost got Marching Goblin. Throughout the year, I remembered the alien and the bull sketches several times, but I actually forgot about the goblin. I'm not too upset that I never did it because I did other awesome goblins instead. The rejects. I'm gonna go on a fairly sizable tangent about Suggestion Sunday now, so you can skip this part if you're not interested. Starting out, I wasn't sure if I'd ever do suggested prompts, but on January 8th, someone pitched the idea of Suggestion Sundays. That person was actually the same one who suggested the gritty icon. It probably wasn't until sometime in March that I decided my full, unspoken rules on suggestions, but here they are. Rule number 1. The person suggesting the icon must be someone who has either subscribed or has commented on multiple of my videos. That way I can feel more confident that they will see their suggestion and get created. I can only see public subscribers, so it's possible I skipped some genuine subscriber suggestions, and if I did, I apologize. Rule number 2. Suggestions from people I know in real life only count as official suggestions if they are pitched specifically as Suggestion Sunday prompts. Sometimes I would get suggestions on what to do for prompts and I would merely ignore them. These prompts were not written down and thus not included in the rejects. And finally, rule number 3. Suggestions cannot be too similar to previous icons. Cough cough, more Hun but with swag. These rules do not apply to the suggestions I received in early January. I got 2 of them and I skipped both because I didn't have the rules in place at the time. But I also skipped Romania Country Ball because it's way too simplistic and I personally just think country balls are stupid. I'm not a fan. I skipped Fluttershy because even though I would have liked to do it, I assumed that the one suggested it wasn't subscribed and may never see it. Anyway, here's a list of the rejects, some of which are more ambiguous as to whether they count as suggestions or not. My dad suggested pizza, despite the fact I had already done 3-minute pizza. This is actually why my older sister included a pizza design on her bonus sock puppet icon. I also got Pizza Spaceship as a suggestion, which I included in the rejects, so does that count for both the suggestion and the plain pizza suggestion? I don't know. I got a few comments on some videos that read something like, "I can't wait for blank icon," and this includes Wacky Shocked Face 2, as well as "Ugh" and "Rah," which would have been entries in the Huh series. There was also a mention of the Fire Spirit from Clash Royale. One comment I got just said Stanley, which might have been a suggestion. There was a suggestion that my final evil flower icon could be a whole evil flower bouquet. There was a comment that said, quote, Vanna Banana, Petunia Rhubarb, and Laura Carrot, which I don't think were suggestions. I think that was just one of those comments where people just comment associated words with no self-awareness. And then there were some unofficial suggestions from my older sister's husband and some other family members. So yeah, now you know how Suggestion Sunday worked. I've known for months that my final Sunday icon would be every icon that I skipped. The Rejects is a pretty rough icon, but even then, it took 4 hours, so I'm glad I didn't go too perfectionist with it. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, and it's also pretty satisfying to say that I did every official suggestion that I received. December was a good month. I don't really have much else to say about it. I'm glad I kept myself in check and didn't overload the month with Christmas icons because I wanted to focus on wrapping stuff up instead. Wrapping. This month had a lot of finales to ongoing series, as well as sequels to past icons, and that made the second half of December very tight when it came to deciding prompts. I was constantly checking the calendar and going, okay, so I have to do this icon on this day or a sequel on this day, and there were very few days where I didn't already have an idea of what I was doing beforehand, which was pretty interesting. For Christmas this year, I decided to create digital artwork to print out and frame to gift to my family members, and 2 of those artworks were actually based on some of my DaaDuuDay icons. For my older sister, I attempted to create a realistic rendition of January 3rd's Lemon Mouse icon because that one's one of her favorites. For my one grandfather, I traced over and created a detailed version of August 26th Buck icon. Some of the artworks I created as GIFs were made as vector artwork, like all of my icons. Some of the other GIFs were a bit cartoony, and others were fairly detailed. It was really cool to be able to reimagine Lemon Mouse like that, especially considering I've never really tried to do realistic art like this before. I started this month with 253 subscribers, and I ended with 288. This is the part of the summary where I'd usually say how I haven't told anyone else about my channel, and I haven't, but it's not like that matters anymore. When I started this project, I decided I was going to tell very few people about it. I wanted to see how much I'd grow if I just let it find its way on its own. And eventually that turned into me never telling anybody. I did tell like 3 extra people over the year, but that's it. Do I regret this? Maybe. I mean, yeah, probably. There's a few friends in particular that I would have loved to have watch my videos. My older sister did 2 bonus icons this year, and when she did the first one, I was imagining doing a few more bonus icons with my friends, and potentially some acquaintances too, but none of them even know what my channel is. One thing I do not regret is ceasing to use the DaaDuuDay TikTok channel. That was awful. I cannot believe how abysmal my views and likes were. The fact I only got 1 follower after 6 months of daily uploads was crazy. But despite that sad note, I am pretty happy with how much my channel grew. I was never really trying to rope in new viewers or provide exciting content to catch anyone's interest. In fact, I'm continuing not to do that by having this boring monologue right now. So the fact I still had a few regulars that would comment every now and then was pretty cool. I did this project for myself more than anything, and I definitely learned a lot along the way. I was able to put a lot of my ideas into art that I could share, and I got to immortalize random insignificant moments of the year, as well as some of my wacky dreams. Even if some icons seem trivial to viewers, a lot of them hold symbolic significance. It's almost like this project was a journal to keep track of my emotions, life events, and even the mundanities of life. Oh, the DaaDuuDay. Now, 2025. I'm not doing daily icons in 2025. Will I be doing icons at all? I'm thinking probably not, but you never know. I do still want to make videos, but I'm struggling a lot to try to figure out just what to do. Of course, I can expand upon some of the lore and characters I built up throughout the year, and that's the one thing I definitely want to do somehow. I have loads of ideas about character designs in media as well. I mentioned in my DDD short how my ideal DDD doesn't exist. I could make videos drawing my ideal designs for different characters, particularly dormant ones like Donkey Kong Jr. I could make videos that show off my personal headcanons about how I think Minecraft mobs look and the lore behind them. I could make videos designing character concepts for imaginary video game sequels or cartoon reboots. These are all things I'd really like to do, but I'm not sure if it fits my channel. I drew a lot of video game characters for Fandom Friday icons this year, but the vast majority of my icons stand on their own, and I'm not sure if I want to turn my art-focused channel into a video game channel, even if it's still about art. So to make a long story short, I'm not sure what I'm doing in 2025. I am planning a few more videos about all of my 2024 icons, but after that, what'll I do? I don't know. But hey, thank you all for watching to the end of the video. Leave a comment with your favorite icon from this month, and I'll see you guys later. That's all I have to say. Oh, the DaaDuuDay.